following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
All right, here we go. The final four races of the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing season is about to kick off here. Starting tonight at the Daytona International Speedway. The updates are in. You see the lights. That's one of the big updates, is the updating of the lighting. And I got to admit, that looks kind of cool, actually, in a very foggy Daytona International Speedway virtually on iRacing. As we get ready to go for 250 miles here tonight, as we kind of go back a little bit in time to the Gen 6 car for the four races we have coming up. It is going to be a fun series of races from Daytona tonight to iRacing Super Speedway next week to Atlanta the following week, and then finishing it all out at Talladega in a 500-mile race coming up on April the 8th. It is going to be a wild 4 weeks of racing after what has been an already pretty crazy 20 weeks of racing in this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. As you see the checkered flag wave as we get ready to go into qualifying. It is humid, it is foggy, it is Florida, and it's going to be nighttime here very soon. But right now we're going to qualifying as we go for the Pole Award presented by GB22 Designs. If you're looking for a paint scheme or any kind of graphic work done, make sure you hit up Mr. Joe Wells in GB22 Designs as he sponsors the Pole Award. Who's going to be the first one out on track? We are pulling out on the stops. I've gone to work on fixing the stream as much as I can. I've actually got my TV on it tonight. I'm looking over to my right now at my, however big size that TV is. I think it's 42. And seeing how the picture looks and making sure things go as smooth as possible tonight. We're going to make it happen. All right, first car out on track is that car right there. And the reason why I say that car is I have no clue who that is. It's dark. It's an all-black car. That's the perfect car color for a night race when the lights are just coming on and it's foggy. Looks like Al Likens there, who's won a few poles here, especially consecutively in the Masters of the Draft Series. He's going to roll out there on track. Eddie Roddy in the Corvette livery, basically. The old, well, they still run it to today. The Corvettes in the IMSA in the World Endurance Championship. That's the G Lightning Chevy. However, it's a Corvette throwback paint scheme, if you will, that is ran on that car. It's a pretty cool paint scheme that the G Lightning guys have come up with. Eddie Roddy on track. Joe Wells also out there. He's up to speed here. You'll get your 2 qualifying laps as per usual. And your fastest lap will be the one that counts. And per usual, my SDK decided to want to slide itself over on the screen. Not sure if that's a session thing that does that or what it does. But there you go. Shane Ward, 47.96 is the provisional poll time. And for those who are tuning in, your screen's not gone weird. It's literally foggy and dark. So Ryan Wilson up there to the pole, 47.95 for him. AJ Condon looking pretty good here in this 5 car. AJ going to be the first to complete the second lap as he does so. Almost kind of misses up there on the apex of the apron. 47.85 is his lap time. Harold Johnson qualifies up there to second right now. Ryan Wilson there in third. Shane Ward, Josh McKinney, your top five. We're going to keep an eye on this guy right here, Al Likens, who's won a good amount of poles here this season. And looking to get another one here tonight in this number 25 blackout machine, we'll call it. As Greg Thompson crosses the line, he's got a pretty cool paint scheme, or at least is working on a pretty good lap, I should say. There he is in 3 and 4. Let's see what Gregory can do here as he crosses the start-finish line. Greg goes to the top, 47.78 in the 08 car. Good lap there. Got himself a win also this season, oh, by the way. Brian Hayes jumps up there to second. Good qualifying effort for him. Stephen Melnick up to fourth. Here comes Al off turn 4. He is in the green, not the purple. And will he start the stretch off with a pole? No, he will not. 7th fastest, 47.88. Guess we want some car noises, huh? There you go. There's your car noises. Scott Wise on track. He's qualified his car. Eddie Waddy on track. Sam Taylor, the tool man. He brings the number 9 down off of turn number 4. Well, I tell you what, Scott has put the challenge on me tonight. Not often do I call a race in the fog. I've done a race that's ended under the lights that wasn't supposed to end under the lights and had to call the last lap in complete darkness. That was kind of fun to do. Sam Taylor goes P4. 2 cars have not run a qualifying lap yet, and as qualifying is going to wrap up, so Greg Thompson wins the GB22 Designs Pole Awards. Congratulations to Greg on the pole award. There's Chris Buescher in the race tonight. We might need him for the fog. To put that out there. All right, let's get this show started, if you will. We get ready for the final 4 races tonight. 250 miles, 100 laps. We'll see 20 and 50 be the lap count here this evening for the stages. As we take a look at the schedule, these final 4 races right down there at the bottom. The last block of it all, the 6th in final session. We've had trucks, Gen 7s, 87s, Xfinity, Gen 4, and now here we are in the Gen 6 car. All the races in this series going to be 250 miles until Talladega on April the 8th. It is a 500-mile showdown to see who is the master of the draft. That 188-lap race coming up in just 3 weeks, which is ironically the finale for the Captain eSports Network also, as we'll be closing the doors down on the operation coming up here in 4 weeks. But we're going to have some fun here in these last 3 weeks after tonight's race is all said and done, and we'll I don't know, try to think of some cool things we can do during that time period. So either way, looking forward to the show coming up here in just a few moments. Let's take a look back at the Gen 4 cars. Dylan Picklesheimer picked up the championship with his win at Daytona earlier in that block of racing. He was able to click off 4 top 10 finishes. He, Joe Wells, Brian Hayes, Shane Ward, 4 of the drivers that had top 10s in all 4 races. And congratulations to Dylan. Joe Wells obviously winning, or I should say, getting those top 10s and getting top 5s there. Jumped up to second. Al Likens had a very rough finale after he and Dylan pretty much teamed up to win that championship, if you will. Al did pick up 2 wins, but had a rough finale, and that cost him second in the points. Travis Gilbert got himself a win at Monza, if I remember correctly, and then AJ Condon there finishing in the top 5. Now, overall, it has been a 2-man show for about 4 months now. And unfortunately, Joe has pulled away and kind of made it a 1-man show, but there's still that time to be made up. It's pretty much between Joe and Travis to get this championship. However, Shane is still there. If he could find a way to get a couple wins, get some bonus points, and Joe and Travis all of a sudden have some issues, Shane could find himself back in this championship run when it's all said and done. So You never know. But I can go ahead and tell you the unfortunate lady, if you will, has been singing on 4th on down. So those guys pretty much all but eliminated, but they got their own battle, which will be fun to watch here when it's all said and done. Let's go check in to Discord. All right, Joe Wells sharing some hobbies with me, apparently, that he is enjoying right now. So we're going to let him do his thing. Is the driver's meeting going on? Lauren, I believe, is back here tonight. I don't see her name. I know Lauren's been tending to some personal stuff. So, Lauren, if you're watching here tonight, obviously thoughts and prayers with you and family, and hope everybody is doing as well as possible with the situations. So obviously this Gen 6 car, for those who just joined us, yes, this is the car that they tried the 550 package on a lot of the bigger tracks, like Charlotte and Vegas and all that stuff. And they had the Dale Jr. quote, the big ass spoiler, if you will. Lauren, don't suspend me any points, please. These had the noses that looked a lot like the cars when they were out there, like the Chevy looked like the Chevy, the Ford looked like the Ford, and so on and so forth, kind of like they've done with this next gen car. Problem is they kind of drove like a boat, and if you look very closely, I always thought these cars looked kind of like a truck, if you will. You just take out the obviously rear part of a truck, and that's what this car was. Very low to the ground. And of course, we'll see speeds tonight, 200 miles an hour with these, especially with the pushing going on. All right, let's get a word. Let's take a look at the qualifying results again here. And we'll talk to our pole sitter momentarily. If we go backwards, Greg Thompson, 47.78, pretty good lap there for this 08 car. As we bring Greg up here as Greg apparently finds a lack in my faith disturbing, which that's not the first time I've heard that. So Greg, obviously congratulations on the pole run, as you've kind of had that up and down season. You do get the one win that you were able to pull off, but here we go in the final 4 races. And can we get this luck to turn around and put yourself potentially in a championship run for this block at least? Greg, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we are. Hey, Greg, obviously been an up and down season for you, but a good start to this block, getting the pole award. So how big is it tonight to maybe get a win to get yourself a chance to win this Gen 6 championship?
Oh, it'd be great. This is one of my favorite cars to drive as a Gen 6, along with the next gen. So these two are my favorite ones.
Got this big old spoiler in the back that is going to create a lot of drag in the cars. It allows the suck up to be really big. Is that something that's going to be a big adjustment when you come from a car like the Gen 4 car last time around?
Yeah, like the Gen 4 was okay. I just really am not too fond of that particular car. I just don't like it. I think the new ARCA cars that come out to replace, the old one is gonna fix a lot of the problems. I hope.
Well, we hope to see some great racing here tonight. Congratulations, Greg, on the GB22 pole award here this evening, and maybe we'll talk in Victory Lane tonight.
All right, I hope so. We'll see you later,
Sounds
and good luck on the broadcast.
Appreciate it. That is Greg Thompson, who's helped me, by the way, tremendously with his streaming advice, and so far things looking pretty good. The problem I've been having, I'll go ahead and kind of be transparent here. The problem I've had this whole entire last few weeks is my bit rate, which is the number of, obviously, determines how strong your stream is, right? Has been going up and down like a yo-yo. I mean, it would go from 2,700 or 5,000, whatever, down to like less than 1,000, bouncing back up, back down. So you'd see it killing my frames and stuff. Well, I did some work on it over the weekend, and my frames were still bouncing around, but the stream was running smooth. I made one adjustment here just about 30 minutes ago. And I notice now it is sitting right in the same area of where I want it. And I'm like, oh, if it stays like this, I might be able to bump it back up to where it used to be. We'll have to see how the stream runs here tonight, which is part of the reason why the old TV is up to the right of my screen here right now. So, should be a lot of fun. Let's, looking forward to, hopefully, I'm kind of excited, to be honest with you, to get this going here so I can see how this runs. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. Appreciate everybody watching. Share it out to your friends and family. It's the last four. Let's get all those interested. As a matter of fact, I might even go share the stream out with some friends of mine. Be like, hey, come watch. See what I did for the last how many years. So, all right. So let's go trackside. We've got about a minute and a half to go here. So let's go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, here we go. Cars are ready to go. It looks like 19 cars going to at least take the green flag. I think 2 of them are going to end up starting on pit road, I think, due to the qualifying procedures here in this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. We take a look at the lineup. Greg Thompson of Virginia's club driver going to start on the pole. How about Brian Hayes showing out that second P2 start in the 47 here tonight? AJ Condon in the 5 car. Sam Taylor there in the 9. Jason Branch got himself a win here this season at iRacing Super Speedway, where we'll be next week. Scott Wise also has a win at iRacing Super Speedway, but he's looking to get himself on track here tonight. Stephen Melnick, who has had a fantastic run here in the last few weeks. He's done a great job. He'll start there in row number 7, or row 4, I should say, alongside Al Likens. James Hudson, Shane Ward there in row number 9, Joe Wells and Daryl Johnson in row number 6. Row 7, Eddie Rardy and Dalen Picklesheimer, the champion from last season. They'll start there in the 14th position. Ryan Wilson, Josh McKinney, the 87s champion, will start there in 16th. Tim Shiflett and Derek Jacobs. Sorry, Josh won next gen. He won one of those championships. Shiflett and Jacobs, Travis Gilbert will start last on the grid. Travis did grid. Derek Jacobs, however, is not. So 18 cars looks like going to take the green flag here momentarily as the cars roll down the super stretch. Lights are on. The fog's going away, thankfully. I can almost see clearly now. The rain is... Oh, wait, there's no rain. 72 degrees, 99% humidity. You'll wonder why it's so foggy. If this was If the weather was real, 99% humidity, not only is fog, but likely a chance to rain in Florida, because that means the dew point is 71 degrees, which means a lot of moisture in the air. Partly cloudy skies, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Track temp at 74 as the lights are on. And we'll go 100 laps here tonight. 20 and 50 going to make up stages in this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. It's just kind of clicking in my head, this is going to be the final time I ever broadcast from my home track, where I grew up, 105 miles to the south of here, Daytona International Speedway. Had the honor of winning 2 of the iRacing Daytona 500s here. I don't care if it's a sim. I won the 500 twice. Here we go. Pace car pulls off. Let's see who finishes it all out. The Masters of the Draft. The final block of 4 kicks off now at Daytona. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Up to speed. Thompson already going to clear the inside there on Brian Hayes. AJ Condon there in the 5 at Key City. Number 5 car gets it up to speed. 47 out there. He's going to get pushed by the 9. The pushing here going to get a little wild. These bumpers kind of line up, depending on what car you drive. So far, so good through 3 and 4 as they come to the start-finish line as Thompson leads lap 1. See already the outside line kind of falling apart. Scott Wise up there in the outside lane. There's that 28, the Macomb, I believe that is. Number 28 car of Jason Branch, an orange and black ride. After the wild race at Talladega, I would not be surprised to see this race kind of start out a little calm, as we had a caution early in that race. We had cautions early in that race, as a matter of fact, a few of them. I say that, we're going to go 3 wide. That's Gilbert up the middle in that blue and black Pennzoil car. He's got a Logano scheme going there at 2-2 car. Now I got error messages, so these paints might not be totally up to date. The paints will load up here. Seems like the paint program's been kind of messing with me here. Up till contact. 1 car goes around. Melnick and others, they wreck on lap 2. As Gilbert, Roani, I see Joe Wells involved and others. Well, this time they made it 2 laps. And the caution waves. Oh, looks like the inside line got checked up. Hey, the benefit of having a TV beside you to watch. I'm looking over and saw kind of what happened live there. Looks like there was some bumper tag there in the inside lane, as we'll bring up the replay here momentarily. But as we know, pushing the pusher is never a good thing. As caution waves here for the first time. Let's take a peek at that beautiful bean footage. Not so beautiful for cars on the inside. Oh yeah, Branch gets checked up and Melnick gets in the back of him. Scott Wise with damage. Brian Hayes gets damage. Load this up trading paint style here, so stand by for a second while you see some white cars here for a second. For some reason I've had issues with the old Better TP app here recently. Let's look at the replay again. Right there, Branch to help out the 08 car. replay here. Watching Greg Thompson down the back straightaway. For a lot of cars, probably gonna need resets here. If not, try to get as much damage as you can fixed now. All right, there we go. Now we got paint schemes. Okay, good. So I apologize for the paint scheme issue. I guess I'll have to do it the old school trading paints way. So James Hudson there in that 2 car, that Miller Genuine Draft car. There's the Ditech Brian Vickers throwback there to 25 of Al Likens. Shane Ward with the NOS Energy Drink car. So caution out here for the first time. Appreciate the viewers who are coming to hang out here this evening. As I promised, let's I'm going to jump over here into my Discord and share what channels I still hang out in Discord and be like, hey, y'all come watch. We're going to have a little fun here in these last 4 weeks. I might even do some random things that you wouldn't expect out of me in a broadcast. Like, have my daughter say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad.
Yes, sir.
I got the TV on so I can watch while I'm broadcasting a race. Because it's fun. You want to talk? Not yet? Okay. Lucy has been partaking in the Astrobot game for Lucy. The second one, which is the main one. The first one's a demo. And she got the yeah. She likes the Astrobot game, which is as I thought about this, is like the new. It's like Mario Brothers for Nintendo or for PS5, right? I guess the best way to call it. All right, cars are double filing up. All right, so getting ready for the green flag here at lap number 7 after that first quick caution. Maciac number 08 car. The inside there, Greg Thompson, 28 at Jason Branch. He stays out. Front 5 all stayed out. Everybody else came in to top off fuel or get some damage fixed. Sam Taylor spent about 1.5 minutes on pit road. Gilbert about 1:50. Scott Wise about 1:50. Everybody did stay on the lead lap though. You see a lot of cars came in at 1 to go, so you'll notice there's only about 5 cars in the outside lane, and that is because they all came to pit road and withdrew from their actual restarting position as Thompson launches green flag back out. Almost too good of a restart here. This pack is going to group back up really quickly here. The outside lane starting to form up with Al Likens, Shane Ward back there behind him, the 12 Dylan Picklesheimer. The cars are squirrely, the pushing. Of course, this was the cars that made some very exciting, actually, super speedway racing. As Thompson leads the lap, James Hudson there, that Miller Genuine, he's getting all sideways. That 2 car looking like He wants to get up there and lead some laps here early. Scott Wise, Josh McKinney have fallen off the draft a little bit there. That could be a little bit of trouble if they can't get up there. This car, about a second and a half, is about as far back as you can fall without catching a draft from the car in front. But he does have some help there behind him with McKinney, but I think they might be a little too far back, almost 2.5 seconds now. So it looks like you might see the 31 and 24 lose the draft here as Hal Likens with a push from Ward leads a lap. These are all bonus points that you can get for leading laps in this race. And of course, you come up on the stage end here at lap 20. Back here, there's Scott Wise and Josh McKinney. They might just be playing it as they see a potential wreck coming, maybe. I mean, I'm okay with hanging in the back, but they might, I think they're a little too far back right now, especially only having 2 cars. If it was like 4 or 5 or 6 cars, being that far back, I think you're okay. But cars, you're really not going to be able to have enough of a push to make. Oh, look at Picklesheimer up the middle. Shane Ward packing and out to the bottom side. Tim Shiflett says, well, I'm going to the back too, except I'm taking the easy way back. Who is that in a Minnie Mouse car? Is that Ryan Wilson, maybe? Or is it Daryl Johnson? I think it might be Johnson. It's in the, or is that Derek Jacobs in the Minnie Mouse car? Okay. Much respect to the Minnie Mouse car. 47 back there. It does not have a nose. It's the 22 of Gilbert that has no nose. The noseless wonder. As Shiflett might have fallen off the draft a little too much now as he's all by himself. Just a little bit. .91 Sam Taylor last time by, the fastest lap in the race. That officially is a little over 200 miles an hour. These guys are definitely getting great runs. Look at this run from Gilbert right here as he pulls up to the cancer car, we'll call it the cancer. Call it the ID cancer car, which is fair enough because cancer does suck. Gilbert doing a good job with a car that I'd say has no nose, being able to draft up there. You see a couple of G Lightning cars here in the inside lane. Of course, the last season, the last block of racing, it was all about the R&R Racing team. Oh, I'm sorry, the TNT team. Wrong initials. TNT team of Likens and Picklesheimer. And those guys who ran up front most of that 4 blocks of racing. And they were able to bring home the championship with Picklesheimer. Gained a little bit there in the team championship. D Lightning has had such a great first 4 blocks of racing that it's almost an insurmountable margin to catch them. Picklesheimer's going at the front. He works out of this car. His car bottoms out. remember, it was that 12 and 25, the old 37 car that worked well together in the last block of racing. And now there they are, first two cars outside and inside lane respectively. I think that those guys are very organized. And again, looking to do the same thing here in this block of racing. Of course, very important to have teammates out here in this race. Laps complete, 5 laps to go here in stage 1. Appreciate the viewers hanging out here this evening. Hopefully you've had a great start to your week. Hopefully you had a great St. Paddy's Day yesterday. For those who celebrated, or maybe celebrated over the weekend. Ironically, Derek Jacobs running the Minnie Mouse car is family and I went to Disney on Ice this past weekend. Here, oh, getting a little sideways. Up, up, up. Easy, boys. Easy, boys. Minnie might have to rethink being on a car again. Getting bumped like that. On board with Hayes here in his 47 car. After that little shuffle, Eddie, we're already there in front of them. Contact here with the 25. Good job by these guys to regroup themselves. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. Actually, somebody got knocked on the water. The neighbor actually knocking about something. So I see we had something happen here, Eddie. We're already getting knocked off the track and had some pit stops happen. There's Travis Gilbert actually getting turned into the wall, and we're already going into the grass, and it split up the field. So Unfortunately, might or might not have seen that live, so wanted to make sure you were able to see what just took place there. It actually split the field up, and Gilbert actually had to go to pit road, so did Sam Taylor, because of the situation. Another replay there. Let's see if we can go back a little bit more and show you the actual replay there. Looks like there was some contact up ahead there, and a couple cars just trying to avoid coming together there. The 9 and 22 came together, and that's what brought up the situation. We stay green, but obviously this pack is a lot smaller now. Of about 8 cars here in this lead package. We did complete stage number 1. 2 laps ago. Let's go back and we'll show you how the stage actually finished up here as we're green with Dylan Picklesheimer up front. And of course it comes down to a photo finish, or close to it I should say, as Dylan Picklesheimer actually crossed the start finish line there. And I believe for Dylan, congratulations to him, he will get the stage award presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. So congratulations to Dylan Picklesheimer on the stage win. As we come back to you live now, lap number 23. So single file, the top 8 cars now. As Derek Jacobs going to be the last car in line. And you got Jason Branch back here. He is 9th on the track. AJ Condon there behind him. And then about 7 seconds back, that's where now you have this group of cars with Shane Ward and Ryan Wilson, Eddie Rardy, Joe Wells. 3 of the 4 G Lightning cars. Ryan Wilson there in R&R in the middle. And then unfortunately, Shiflett, Wise, and McKinney, these guys lost the draft regularly. And as for Gilbert, he and Sam Taylor both had to come to pit road due to that contact. So now this field getting spread out here after the contact. Sometimes this is exactly what the doctor needs as this race goes on here. You're going to see some green flag pit stops coming up here probably in the next 10 laps or so. And when you get the field spread out like this, everybody just kind of just hangs tight, runs single file. We'll have to see who's running the fastest laps. So you see Wells is kind of hanging off the back of Rorty there. He's going to need to get up a little tighter to get this line pushing up. They are gaining on Condon and Branch tandem, which is about 5 seconds ahead. The quicker they can get to those 2 cars, you get a 6-pack, and you might be able to start to work in on this other pack. The problem is there is you're already looking at about a 12-second advantage for Picklesheimer and Likens and Brian Hayes and James Hudson. As a matter of fact, I look at that, I believe that there is 3. Make that, 3 of the 4 TNT cars right up here in the front pack with Brian Hayes and the R&R team running there in the 3rd position. So right now TNT looking pretty good up here at the front. It's 27 laps complete next time by. Out of 100 quarter distance in here. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. I want to say as I think about this one more, that might be the first time I've ever had somebody random knock on my door in the middle of a broadcast in all the years. We're saving for the last 4. But that was a situation. It's good when you have a good neighbor that will, if something happens, it's accidental or whatever. There's a little contact between somebody's door and my vehicle, and they were like, hey, just FYI, this happened just in case. It's kind of cool to, so I would actually have the honor to knock on your door and tell you that. So Ward and these guys are now within about 4.5 seconds of the 2 cars in front of them. And gained really as quickly as I thought they would. With my experience, I remember about this Gen 6 car is you had to be pretty close together to push each other. Like you needed that third car to get up there tight inside that bubble of the second car, to get up in that bubble of the first car, and then you can really start kind of pushing and moving through. Heck, I remember at one point in these cars where you had to push as much as you could, and then once you started feeling hot, you had to jump out of line and let the other cars fill in and start pushing, and it turned into like one of those laps that you run in sports. So 29 laps complete. Everybody, there is not a single car that is not single file here. So Branch and AJ Condon have picked up the 22 of Travis Gilbert, who now has a new nose on his car, so Travis must have used the reset here. And Travis is going to start pushing away to get these cars up there together. Look at that car bob and weave. About 3 seconds back is Shane Ward in that 4-pack of cars. Bryce Travis had fallen back here to this next pack to help his teammates kind of catch these 2, and then this becomes a big old 8-pack of cars, 7-pack of cars. But obviously with pit stops coming, that's going to really make things interesting here momentarily in this race. Gilbert, one of the more aggressive pushers and super speedway racers, is very confident in what he does. And of course, tonight he's in that Pennzoil car, but normally you see Vet the Track on that car. Vet the Track, the main sponsors of this Masters of the Draft Series, and a big shout out to those guys helping out. As Branch is going to come to pit road, already got Scott Wise, Shiflett, and McKinney all on pit road here. But Vet the Track helping out veterans. Back on the racetrack, a la the motorcycle racing, as something has happened with this front pack, because all of a sudden the lead pack was caught up with, and Gilbert, these guys just flew by them. I don't think there was a pit stop. No, these guys definitely didn't pit, but they have slowed down a ton, and now everybody's coming to pit road in this lead pack here. So we'll have to see if we can go back and catch what happened. Here we go, everybody 55 miles an hour. And You got to be careful who you're around on pit road here. Do not cut down in front. Greg is going down through all the pit stalls. As here we go, should be tires and fuel for all these cars. Let me see if I can go back and what in the world happened there as we were happened right here somewhere. That's when everybody's coming to pit road. So here's where they catch Travis Gilbert, put him a lap down. This pack got really split up really quickly. As a matter of fact, you're kind of seeing them split up already here. Looks like nothing really awkward happened at all. Just everybody just lost the draft, and Gilbert just pushing AJ Condon there. Was able to get around that pack, and you see them up here leading now. Still got the top 7 cars that are yet to come to pit road for their green flag pit stops here. Here come those cars. Melnick's going to stay out. Oh, and Condon and Ward both going to lose it. And so did Joe Wells, I think, back there in the 3-car lost it. Somebody threw some banana peels down on track coming to pit road. And this is going to definitely hurt this pack of cars. You see this field now spreading out a little bit. Stephen Melnick decides he's going to pit all by himself. Melnick now coming in. And that should, on the momentum here, Joe's actually got some inside damage there on that 3-car. So he's been the inside wall there, maybe coming on the pit road as everybody comes up to speed. And it looks like it's going to be Al Likens going to take the lead of this race as the 5 cars here in the front. Depending on where Melnick comes out of line here, you see Branch takes advantage, or Thompson, I should say, takes advantage of pit stops there to move up to the 2nd position. As Melnick leaving pit road right now, he's coming over to the back straightaway. Oh, don't go over that yellow line, Melnick. Trying to hold on to her. He gets it over to blue, but he might still get a penalty for getting to that yellow line. You do not want to hit that thing. We'll have to see if he comes back to pit road here, but there goes the pack. Flying by Condon. And flying by Melnick, so Al Liken officially the leader now after 37 laps in green flag pit stops. It's NASCVR Masters of the Draft Series. Race number 1 of this Gen 6 car, the final block of 4 before we crown an overall master of the draft. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out here on this Tuesday evening. Here come up with a lap on Travis Gilbert, who obviously stayed out and has still got a few laps where he has to pit, but unfortunately he's now by himself, and he can attach himself to this pack of cars. Now, Ward's pit penalty this time around, Mr. Bliss, was he almost spun. Let's actually show that little mishap there. It was like the lap of follies, if you will, for those cars that came to pit road just a minute ago. Back and find these pit stops really quickly. Let's watch these leaders try to come to pit road. This was an interesting one for these guys. Oh, they're already in their pit stall at this point. Let's back it up a little bit more. Let's try this again. It all starts, watch here, the leaders come to pit road, and I think a few of them had too much rear brake. Let's start with AJ Condon. He goes wee. And then Shane Ward goes wee. And then Joe Wells goes yikes. Spins right in front of Minnie Mouse. Al Likens, Greg Thompson, Jason Branch, your top three now. Picklesheimer right here in the draft here in the fourth position. Dylan Johnson, or Daryl Johnson, I should say, there in the fifth position with 10 laps to go here in stage 2. Picklesheimer winning stage 1. Let's see who can get the Wise Guy iRacing Graphics stage 2 award. Well, this car is very tough to stop, especially you put a lot of rear brake in it, but these cars do wheel hop, unlike the next-gen car really didn't wheel hop anymore. It's, the transaxle that it has in it, these cars, they do wheel hop. You get too much brake in them, so that could easily have happened with rear brake. Melnick, there's AJ Condon, who's now a lap down. They're already in there trying to push that pack here. Joe Wells out here with Shane Ward now. Those two running alone. Brian Hayes is all by himself. You got James Hudson's running by himself. And then you got Scott Wise. He's got Shiflett. Sam Taylor also in that pack. So you got a bunch of little mini packs here as we come to 7 laps to go. Just the one caution at lap 3. Other than that, we're in clean and green here so far. But 44 laps in the books here, 6 to go before the end of stage 2. Right now looks like about 5 cars with a chance. Obviously anything can happen, and all 5 of those cars wreck coming to the green and white checker. You see second group of cars here have caught Stephen Melnick and made the pass on him, so Wilson and Rardy working very well together, and Melnick joins them. Gilbert's falling back here to pick up his teammates of Ward and Joe Wells. These cars just turn all kinds of sideways and they bump each other. Do the math here of the fuel mileage. It should be one stop pretty much everybody the rest of the way here. They pitted from 32 to 37, obviously 32 being a third of them, a race to the 100 lap mark, so everybody should be good to go on one stop. But obviously yellow flags can happen anytime. And you see some of these packs starting to kind of reorganize themselves here. Three laps to go, stage 2. The longest block of racing you're going to see in this series is this block here with the Gen 6 cars. I mentioned every race is at least 250 miles long. And then come April 8th, the finale here, overall finale, will be a 500-mile race at Talladega. And we'll have it all 4 of those races live for you. Finish it out with a 500-miler. Saw the 12 car trying to get a little bit of something going in that outside lane with help from Daryl Johnson. Likens obviously I would think would jump up there, but he's trying to get the 12 there before he can make the move as he tries to side draft the 28 back. Across the line here, final lap, stage 2. Good opportunity to see how that side draft works. Oh, Thompson with help from Branch, the block by Likens. Thompson crosses him over. And now Picklesheimer gonna push the 08 car here. And now we've got the teammates on each side basically here. Thompson with help from Branch, but Branch is in the outside lane. Likens with help from Picklesheimer in the inside lane. Drag race, here they come to the line. Stage 2, I think, is Greg Thompson. Thompson with stage 2 win, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. And it was not by much. Get the margin here across the line. Thompson, a good side draft here off the corner. Able to. You know what? From that view, it almost looks like the 25 got him. Well. This is one of those where you get to pull up the old iRacing screen here for a second and go frame by frame. It looks like Al Likens actually. And that's close. Oh, yeah, right there. It's probably going to be your closest. Let's see here. Right there. Yep, Al Likens actually gets it. So never mind. Al Likens with the stage win. Ooh, close. presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics Better. And I'm going to take a minute here. I'm going to step away for just a split second and be right back here. We are lap 55 in the books. Thompson, Branch, Johnson, Pickle, Simmer, Likens, your top 5. Then it's back to 14 seconds. Matter of fact, let's put the map up on the screen so you can see where everybody is on track right now. The 23, Ryan Wilson there in 6th. Teddy Rardy 7th. Stephen Melnick there in the 8th position. And then from there, Joe Wells is 5.3 seconds back as this is the whole few of the G Lightning cars all trying to push each other. It has turned into everybody push each other and try to catch the leaders pack. And back here is your biggest pack outside of the lead, where Scott Wise, Tim Shiflett, James Hudson, Brian Hayes have all caught each other here. And add in the lap car, Josh McKinney in that 34 car. Well, we should be seeing the final round of pit stops coming up here in the last 15 or next 15 or so laps. Setting themselves up for that final pit stop. They're trying to get them in the right position here. Come up on 150 miles. This car, as you see, it's all about the pushing. It's all about what you can do and shows you also how much that third car needs to be as close as possible to that second place car to try to push him along. You don't want to push exactly bumper to bumper all three cars, because then you get that pushing the pusher and it never ends well. But the closer you can be to that car in front of you, getting that bubble, and trying to break that bubble, the faster you'll be able to push along that pack. And you get, you know, like the 12 right now is kind of falling back with the 25 a little bit. And that might be a product of the way this car handles. It can be tough to keep the momentum going in that car, but right now they've done a good job up here in the front five. 15 seconds now back to sixth place Ryan Wilson. See, Greg and those guys are catching a group of cars. Back here with Scott Wise and everybody. So this is going to get interesting, because looks like our two big packs might end up lined up with each other here. We'll have to talk a little bit with the guys and see, hey, was it just that hard to stay together? See some cars, there's a lot of movement going on. As I think we just had issues. I think AJ Condon, and caution is out. Yeah, AJ Condon just towed. I thought I saw potentially something going on with him. And Shane Ward in the 39, and caution right at the 150-mile mark. Just put this race back together again. What happened with the 5 and 39 here? G Lightning, unfortunately, has been struck, if you will. Oh, I mean, that wreck looked familiar. And looks like once again, you get a checkup from the second car, and the third car, unfortunately, just has all this momentum, and that was a hard lick for Condon. Some might say that looked like 2001 all over again. Some might say that looked like Eric Jones's wreck at Talladega last year. Condon sitting right on his, see around the bottom of the car there. Well, this should bring everybody to the pit road. The question being, can you make it the rest of the way on fuel here? Race off pit road with these, Greg Thompson. Johnson, Likens, Picklesheimer, Branch were already everybody on the lead lap coming to pit road here. Let's talk with a driver. Let's actually talk to the 93 of Daryl Johnson here. We'll bring him up to the booth real quick. Daryl, you get a copy? Daryl, you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you. What's
Hey,
up, buddy?
Not much, man. Hey, obviously running along in second right now, but the main question I want to ask, something I've kind of caught on to, has it been, it seems like it's tough to keep a pack of like 5 cars very close together. Is those last car, maybe the last 2 cars with this car, having issues hanging on to that the front 3 cars to keep the pack together, or is it more of just handling, or what's going on?
No, we're just trying to save some fuel. We were close there to making it on one stop. So it turned out that we were going to end up, having to make 2 stops. Dylan and Al and I were trying to just be strategic with it, and just trying to lay back and save some fuel.
Seems like the runs are pretty big here. The first 2 cautions we've seen here has been a product of, it looks like the second place car checking up, and then the third car getting in the back and causing the wreck.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. Super fast runs that you're getting up to the car in front of you, especially if you have somebody pushing you. If you don't have somebody pushing you, then it's really hard. But if you got somebody on your rear end and you got somebody in front of you, the run is crazy.
Wow. Good to know, man. Appreciate the information. Are we good to go on fuel now, or are we still a little close?
We are not going to make it.
I was going to say, that chuckle might answer my question right there. So, hey, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Daryl Johnson says we're not going to make it on fuel, so this is going to get interesting. Does this become a fuel mileage race? Can these guys pull off the whole what we got going on here now? So are we going to Indianapolis to restart here, or what's going on? Oh, here we go. We check up, but no. It makes you wonder: are we going to see the cars like slow up somehow in a pack and just kind of run, trying to save fuel? That'd be kind of interesting to see here. So as we come to the green, 15 cars on the lead lap, including Travis Gilbert, who just took the lucky dog. And he's now back on the lead lap in that Pennzoil Vet2Track Ford. Greg Thompson, Jason Branch, Joe Wells now third, Eddie Rardy fourth, Shane Ward fifth, Melnick, Likens, Johnson, Wilson, Picklesheimer. Your top 10 as we come back to the green, lap 64. Hey, let's turn it up. We haven't done this in a minute. Speed's really picking up now. 44.54 last time by, the fastest lap by AJ Condon. Is looking, Branch pull out a lining and Altano sideways. Boy, these cars just do not want to push each other. Oh, one car in the apron back here is Melnick is sideways. Now the 9 is sideways. Well, this will split up everybody again. Sam Taylor still trying to. Sam Taylor doing Kyle Busch impersonations back here. He's able to catch on to it looks like. Everybody's got to get lined up really quickly here. And now the question is, how do you save fuel like this? Which then leads to my next question. If you do got to come to pit road, you split this run in half. You run roughly 15 to 20 laps. Come get fuel and go to the finish of this race. Ball is in your court now. Shane Ward takes it to the front in that 39 car. What happened to Elnick just now? Let's see what put him sideways in that one car. He's inside lane there. You can see right there is where Branch almost gets turned. Oh, you see the 9 and 34 almost come together in a 9 and 1 touch. And a bit almost hit the sham. Look at who. I think Scott's thinking about 3 wide middle, but decides to stay in line there on the outside. Likens cuts down on his teammates to the inside here. You know these pushes are just going to get more and more aggressive. Running behind the 34 car. Look at this run that they're getting on this pack. They are going to see if they keep it going. No, the 3 kind of moves up a little bit. Wells kind of getting out of the way a little bit. And that might have actually hurt this pack. But look, here's the momentum. Look at this. 3 wide. Unfortunately, now nowhere to go. McKinney is bringing that 22 of Gilbert along with him. And now 12 cars on the lead lap in this pack. Next week, these guys hit iRacing Super Speedway for a 250-mile race, and then April Fool's Day, believe it or not, we go to Atlanta Motor Speedway before we hit Talladega for the final time in this 2024-2025 Masters of the Draft. Is the 33 gets hooked off McKinney. Into the wall goes Josh, and Josh does a good job keeping it in the wall to avoid even more trouble, and he's going to have to come to pit road, but that was just an unfortunate hook. You cannot get on the left rear of a car, especially in the corner. And ever since McKinney won that championship 2 seasons ago, it's been not so much good luck. Now back to everybody find a partner in Docedo to get back up to this lead pack. Travis Gilbert, who had that early damage Got the bumper replaced. He and the 5 car had damage early in this race, and they have now worked their way to the front. The 5 is still 3 laps down. So AJ, unfortunately, out of the contention of this race unless he gets a couple of cautions here, but he's helping out his teammate there into 22. Go to the front. Scott Wise kind of hanging out there by himself right now. Stephen Melnick comes to pit road here in the 1 car. This might actually be a scheduled fuel stop. Shouldn't need much fuel to get to the finish. That's a lot longer than fuel you want in that car. So something must be going on with the Melnick car. As Hickelsheimer going elevator move, top to bottom. With 26 to go, the gloves are off here. I'm starting to notice this torque wrench team coming to work now. Wise, Branch, Thompson all on the bottom lane. James Hudson back in this pack. There's Al Likens also now joining this pack. So starting to see kind of a formation of who's going to be there for potential win of this race. And caution. With 24 to go. See, oh, right here, 54. Shiflett is going around along with Sam Taylor. Caution out for the 3rd time here. Ooh, little RG bar. Oh! Gravedigger hard into the wall with the 9 car. Can you save enough fuel under this yellow? Just get hooked. Stephen Melnick must have had a speeding penalty or something, and he's actually getting the waiver on and coming back to the lead lap here. So a lucky break for the 1 car. He had a 51-second stop, and that tells me that he had a speeding penalty. And so here come the leaders in. Race off pit road. Gilbert, I think, got it. should be a 20-lap shootout here to get us to the end of this race. Again, appreciate everybody for hanging out with us, and especially these last, month or so. I appreciate everybody's patience with the streams, as I think I fixed the issue, potentially. So, knock on wood. Should get one to go here, so we'll get the green 20 laps to go. And again, 15 cars in the lead lap. Derek Jacobs took Minnie Mouse behind the wall, unfortunately. Josh McKinney's now behind the wall. Sam Taylor on pit road getting damage fixed, and looks like Condon is back on track. He is 16th, though, 3 laps down in the 5 car. We've seen it before in these previous Masters of the Draft Series races. We've seen lap cars come into play to help out their teammates win a race. I would not surprise to see something like that happen again here. You know, some are okay with it, some are not. Just depends on how you look at it. So here they come to turn number 4, and starting to see some of those pairs working together here. That bottom line, you see Scott Wise and Greg Thompson. Branch is right there in the outside lane, 3rd car, and then you see the 22 of Gilbert. He's got a couple of the G Lightning cars. You see TNT up here. Who's going to work together? What team with what team as Gilbert launches? Already single file, but Gilbert too big of a restart there. Do you see the inside line come right back to him? That's one thing about super speedway racing on iRacing that I've always kind of found interesting, is when people get that early launch like that. It's like, if anything, you want the latest restart possible in a super speedway so that you don't get too good of a restart. I feel like when you do it early, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage being the leader. Scott Wise is going to get a lap lead. And that Cale Yarborough throwback, that Hardy's 31 car. You see a lot of movement out of these cars here. Almost some contact between 31 and 25 as we ride with Shane Ward. Looking up at the 93 of Johnson. Which, remember, as we talked about earlier, the big old spoiler in this car. I think it was 9 inches. If I remember correctly, it had, what, 6 inches of an actual spoiler and then 3 of a clear plexiglass or something, if I remember correctly, where I don't remember the exact model it was made out of, but basically it was like this clear so people could see in front, which you couldn't see no matter what with that spoiler. Seeing some cars coming together there, saw some 3 wide on the back straightaway. And here comes Likens to the bottom. Race now down to basically a Busch Clash from the early days. Used to be a 20-lap shootout. Melnick has fallen out of the lead draft here, unfortunately, in the 1 car. Ooh, check up. Easy, boys. Giflet trying to hold on to her back there. And he's able to as Condon helps him. Giving him plenty of space there. Darrell Johnson going to the front here. So Darrell up caution. Not sure where it's at. I'm looking for it. I don't have a clue here. This might be one of those I have to go with the old school look here and figure it out. Let's see. Oh, right there. Somebody got turned in the back. That might have been Brian Hayes. It sure was. 47 goes for a loop-de-loop. I see he's got the captain on his car again, so he's trying for lightning to strike twice here. Off the front end of Picklesheimer. Great job saving that car. So while we're in the caution here, 15 laps to go. I know he's kind of probably a little forward focused here. But let's get the... I want to bring the driver up here, the 22. Let's see if he comes to pit road. Let's see, Greg Thompson looks like right now, and he might even be pulling a fake. He sure is. Forgive me, I opened up an app accidentally. There we go. Put that thing off my screen. All right, let's talk to Travis Gilbert. The reason I want to bring him up here is Travis, get a copy?
I do. What's up, Chris? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, buddy. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit. I know we haven't had a chance recently outside of interviews to talk about Vet to Track. Of course, the final little block of racing here in this season, which, of course, has been presented by Vet to Track. And give us a little rundown again of about Vet to Track and talk about some of the stuff they got going on.
Yeah, Vet to Track is a cool organization started by Sergeant First Class Jim Whittam. It's an organization where veterans can get outside of their PTSD and hibernation and isolation and everything and get to the track and experience some camaraderie like what we used to in the military units, you know? These race teams, when you get to the track, everybody's got a task. Everybody's goal-oriented, missions accomplished. Soldiers, veterans, when they come home, a lot of us lose focus and concentration and we lose our way because we're used to a structured lifestyle, we're used to getting up at old dark 30 doing PT. There's a saying in the military, in the army, we get more done before 9 than people do all day. It's because we're structured, we're fit and everything. Well, we get back to the civilian world and we lose that stuff. So lose the structure, you come back to the family, so that creates a lot of PTSD. Some soldiers are struggling with traumatic brain injury from being blown up and everything. So this vet to track allows people to get out to the racetrack and get away from the everyday norms and stressors and be able to experience that organizational structure layout that they were used to, and hopefully it gives them hope and they don't end up being part of the 22 that commit suicide.
Well, obviously some great information there, and obviously we do appreciate all the veterans who have fought for this country and continue to do so to this day. And obviously it'd be cool to see the 22 go to victory lane here tonight, and a great comeback for you so far, and we appreciate your time, and we'll talk here in a little bit.
Appreciate you, Chris. That's why we race this 22, so it brings awareness to 22 veterans commit suicide a day, and there's a little saying, it's 22 until there's no more, so we're trying to save these veterans' lives, even if it's one. So we never give up, we keep battling, and hopefully we put on a good show for you guys, Chris.
Well said, man. Great job. Travis Gilbert representing Vet to Track there in the second position. For those who have not had a chance to check out the series, of course, with their sponsorship here in the series, doing a lot of things. Getting ready for the green flag. We'll have 12 laps to go. Daryl Johnson on the inside. Travis Gilbert there on the outside. Obviously Scott Wise in that 31 car looking to get himself his second win of the season. Jason Branch looking to get his second win of the season. Al Likens, who's looking to have a great start here in this Gen 6 block. Who is going to pull it off? We find out in roughly 12 laps, depending on if we get overtime or not. There we go, green flag. Great restart for the 93 car. Once again, almost too good of a restart. He's had a trail break back to the 31. And you see already it's going to help Gilbert and Branch get the lead. I mean, the only way you can counter that kind of restart, like I was saying earlier, is just wait till the green to come out. And when it comes out, go. These guys I know are an eager bunch and they're ready to go at that moment. So why wait? Or why go early, I should say. But hey, these guys are racing for a reason. I'm not. Like that. As Eddie, we're already dropping to the bottom. Looking to make some moves in that 33 car. He said he was confident one day he'd be in the booth talking to me after winning a race, and here he is. Outside getting some strong momentum there as Branch pushing along the 22, and see James Hudson there in that 2 car giving a push to the 28. Get the 10 laps to go this time. Whoa, Eddie way sideways. And now they're connecting, and around goes Scott Wise. Into the wall hard. And what went from a multi-car wreck to a single-car wreck. All started with some checking up and stuff. And caution back out with 10 laps to go. Watch up at the front there. You can see Eddie get turned sideways right there from a bump from Darrell Johnson, and Likens gets in the back of 93. And then the 39 scoots up into the 31, who clips the 93. And unfortunately, the Hardy's car now looks like a Carl's Jr. car. And caution is out. Too much damage there, and obviously we'll see if Scott has a reset to use there. Of course, a lot of these guys were involved in that lap 3 accident. I appreciate all the viewers who are coming to hang out tonight. 3 more races after this evening in this NASCVR Masters of the Draft, as we take a look at, again, the way the schedule sets up here. Just look down here towards the bottom. Daytona, iRacing Super Speedway next week for 84 laps. Atlanta, and then Talladega, a 500-mile race coming up on the 8th of April. I'd never have thought that when I really had thought about making this announcement about being the last seasons of broadcasting, that the day of my birthday would be my last podcast. But that's the way it's shaping up. We should get the one to go signal, I would think, right here. As Shiflett comes back to pit road. I would think if the gloves weren't off already, they're really going to be off now. Should be good to go on fuel. Another thing about this car, I remember, I just looked at the back of Scott Wise's cars that come off pit road. I totally had forgotten about the back part on the bottom. Now it's all the way almost down to the track. I mean, this thing had such a big, such big drag in the car and so much downforce in it too. Race truck going to pull in this time behind Gilbert Branch. Roarty, Hudson, and Wells going to be your top 5. Shane Ward, Greg Thompson, Ryan Wilson, Brian Hayes, Stephen Melnick. I noticed a lot of the TNT guys, matter of fact, all of them came to pit road that time by. And are going to be towards the back here. So Daryl Johnson, Al Likens, Dylan Picklesheimer, all those guys going to start in the back here. Can they work together and draft through this pack? We're going to find out. They were definitely the strongest team in the last season or so. There's a great restart for Gilbert Branch, not so much. We're on 2 single file. See if Wells can get clear. Branch trying to side draft off of him. Kind of surprised to see Roarty and Gilbert jump up to the top as one car almost over Daryl Johnson. And Brian Hayes, and caution comes out. I was kind of surprised to see Gilbert and them go up to the top there. I figured he'd be helping their teammate out. Oh, we got a crab. A crab on the beach of Florida. The old checkup thing happened again. Now, in the 12, a Picklesheimer gets in there. So does Al Liken. And just like that, a majority of the TNT team involved in that wreck. Once again, though, a checkup up ahead creates a chain reaction. Pits. Oh, well, it was Shiflett. Did Shiflett try a Kyle Busch restart? It's just a big checkup there. When you know it is not your night, Shiflett comes rolling into the pack and he finds his way into the wreck. That's going to bring more cars to pit road here. As we hit 4 laps to go, we might have ourselves a traditional green-white checker finish. Obviously, after tonight, you wonder what else can happen. seen a fair share of accidents. We got the top 2 in the overall points, running up there in the front 4 spots. So it's going to be hard to gain any kind of points if they're finishing up there. So Joe Wells obviously is in the driver's seat to win the overall Master of the Draft Championship here this season. He can just have 4 solid runs. He should be good to go. But obviously you still want to win that little block of 4 races at the same time here. Gilbert looking to kick off the season with a win. G Lightning team running 1-2-4 as we come to the restart here. Jason Branch looking to play spoiler. James Hudson is up there. You see the pole sitter Greg Thompson back in the battle. Pace car going to pull off. And let's see what happens here. Gilbert waits to the green flag this time. He and Joe Wells get a real good restart on Roarda. Let's see if they move to the bottom here. They sure do. Everybody picking up their teammates. Branch gets picked up by Thompson. Oh, the 12 gets squeezed up into the wall, some contact, and there goes Likens into the wall. Everybody stay straight, I think. Up, Likens is down the track, but everybody is straight and green here. Scott Wise with damage also. And caution now out. So we will go to overtime. Caution officially. Obviously 12 trying to make a move there. Unfortunately, gets squeezed there by the 1 a little bit. That was one of those deals where it looks like the run just kind of, I should say the momentum of Melnick trying to help Hudson out, who had just moved up the track. He's trying to slow up to help him out, but there's no momentum at all there. They're trying to get organized. 12 just runs out of room. And the contact happens. And here we go, and this time it's going to be overtime. Now you have to worry again, I would think, a little bit about fuel potentially, because a lot of these guys came to pit road 22 laps ago, so they should be, I would think, okay by a pretty good margin, but you never know. See Likens and others getting damage fixed on their cars. So the good news, though, on these 2.5 mile tracks, you get these very quick cautions. We should get one to go this time by, and we'll go into overtime officially here to see who's going to win this opener. That last caution, by the way, was not an official overtime restart, so this is the first of 2 opportunities that they'll get. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast here tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed your evening. We'll be back with you again next Tuesday night from iRacing Super Speedway for the second race of 4 in the series. We'll come to the green here. We'll have 13 cars on the lead lap, as Likens and Scott Wise tried to catch the back of the field here. So here we go. Overtime number 1. As Gilbert with a good restart. As Wells trying to get up there with his teammate. Outside lane with a pretty good push here. As Brandt's going to take it up the middle. And split the G Lightning team with Thompson. Here comes Melnick up the middle. More contact going on. Oh, and Melnick gets turned with Gilbert, and here we go. Caution comes out, and they're still wrecking. This took out at least 3/4 of the field. And we will try it again. Everybody able to split Gilbert and Wells, and then Gilbert and Melnick come together. And everybody went wrecking. AJ Condon would have gotten a lucky dog there, but unfortunately he's in the wreck. See if we get a better view of this one. A lot of cars involved in that. Let's look at it one more time. Let's count the cars that were not caught up in that wreck. One gets in the wells. That's where the one gets hooked. I am seeing these two cars so far. Yeah, I'm seeing. See, Taylor's not on track. 16 cars. 14 cars involved in that wreck. Nice when you can do process of elimination on that one. 14 cars. First and second, the only two not involved. And one car's dragging the front end over there. You know, who's got a reset left and who is going to try to get that car fixed up as much as they can. Let's try it again one final time. In chat, it looks like in Discord that guys had pain issues tonight here, so not sure what's going on, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get that all fixed up by next week. Jason Branch, Greg Thompson. Somehow, Dylan Picklesheimer has ended up in the outside of row 2 with Tim Shiflett, Joe Elves, Eddie Rorardi back up in the top 8. I mean, if you're in this lead pack and you have no damage, you have a chance. But we have to get back to the white flag for all this to happen. And I think that's Melnick who's actually coming to pit road here. He was the one I think you saw dragging the front end, it looked like, as we come back to the green. Branch with a legit restart there, able to move up after he crosses the start-finish line. Shiflett gets hung out to dry. See what Branch does here as Picklesheimer gets a run with help from Joe Wells, gives him a good bump. Here comes Shane Ward with him. Thompson with a big push on Branch. As Thompson gets him clear, white flag, final lap. When does the 33 make a move, or the 23 even make a move? Here comes the 2 of Hudson on the bottom. Thompson literally pushing the 28. As Thompson gonna push Jason Branch to a second win in the opener at Daytona. The Torque Wrench team goes 1-2. 1-2-4 to be exact. As Branch and Thompson celebrate with some donuts along with Scott Wise, the team doing a great job there at the end of this race. And Eddie Rorty, well-deserved 33 car, getting some third-place donuts. For Branch, his second win and almost some retribution, I think, back to that race a couple seasons ago. With the contact and Branch into the wall there coming to the start-finish line. In a race that he felt was taken from him. Tonight, he goes back to victory lane, this time here in Daytona. Let's take a look at the finishing results here. In the opener, that's the qualifying results. Give me a second here to hit a button. There we go. As Branch wins it, Greg Thompson, Eddie Rorty finishing second and third, Scott Wise fourth, Joe Wells fifth, Ryan Wilson sixth, Travis Gilbert, James Hudson, Shane Ward, Dylan Picklesheimer ends up 10th, Tim Shiflett, Stephen Melnick, Al Likens, AJ Condon, Daryl Johnson ends up in the 15th position. Ryan Hayes, Sam Taylor, Josh McKinney, and Derek Jacobs out of the 19 cars that started this 100-lap race. And we shall talk to our drivers that finished in the top three. Start with Eddie Rorty, who finishes in the third position tonight. Eddie, so close to getting that win, but as you promised, you wanted that one opportunity to come up and chat, and here we are in the booth together after a top three finish.
Glad to be back, Chris. I I don't think I can believe it myself after all that. I'm pretty sure I was going into the wall a couple times.
Well,
But
yeah.
just stayed true to the course. Kept an open mind, just looked for opportunities, and just keep the car straight is really all I did. Everything around that was just pretty much luck, really.
Yeah, pretty clean race for the most part in the beginning and middle stages, but then obviously the chaos kind of kicked in there towards the end. Talk about your race a little bit and how much catch up you were trying to play there at the end.
Yeah, it's we lost a few teammates along the way. Luckily the cautions kind of came out in the middle of the race, so it kind of gave some hope again to get back up to the front pack. We were kind of slipping behind early on, but luckily the more cautions came out, probably a little bit too much towards the end, which made it a little bit nerve-wracking.
Right.
But tires were good and plenty of fuel, and just stayed out as best I can, just keep the car clean and try to help my teammates that are around. So yeah, overall pretty happy with the result.
How big of a start is this for you, obviously, for this last block of racing?
I think it's definitely a huge start, especially considering the previous blocks just haven't gotten too much luck, but starting off the block right in top 3 position is makes me really happy. So happy to be part of this race and get a good result finally.
Well, great job tonight. Send some shouts over your like too.
Yeah, let's shout out to GLM, all my teammates. Shout out to Travis for taking the lead and getting some having a good strategy with our teammates. Shout out to Joe for sticking tight. Shane, AJ, Travis, if I missed him, and then and Josh as well. So all the GLM guys. Shout out to Forte Racing, my team back home, and shout out to Amber. She happens to be watching.
Great job tonight, Eddie, and congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you so much. Great
Absolutely.
chatting with you, Chris.
You too, buddy. Eddie, we're already a third place finish here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway in the G Lightning team. Salvaging what looked to be a pretty good night, but then unfortunately kind of got turned upside down, but still not bad. I mean, a 5th, a 7th, along with that 3rd, so, and a 9th it looks like. So they did a pretty solid job, it looks like. But this Torqued Wrench team had it all together here at the end as Thompson and Brandon.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I find my lack of faith disturbing too. As Thompson finishes in the 2nd position as he battles back and puts himself right on the back of his teammate there. Branch's bumper and pushes him right to the victory. And obviously a great team win, Greg. And obviously you showed that little power that you had there in this Gen 6 car to be able to push Branch out there to where nobody could even touch you guys there at the end.
Yeah, we were actually when that first green white checker came up, we were kind of a little upset there because we had pushed out and we were gone, and I was looking at my mirror and I'm looking at them. They're like 4 wide, 3 wide behind me, and I'm like, man, we've got this. And all we had to do was take the white and boom, caution on the backstretch. And I was like, oh, half a lap and we would have had this in the bag. But it all worked out. But I got to thank my teammate Jason. I mean, he drove an awesome race too. And I told him, I said, you're going to get the push of your life here. And on that white, on the checker flag lap, I hooked onto his bumper and didn't even leave his bumper.
I'll talk about the runs. I noticed a lot of runs that, some of them would get cut off at times or whatever, and it would cause checkups, which would cause some of these cautions. But then there were times where it just seemed like you would bump draft somebody and it looked like the car would just be skating everywhere when it happened. How challenging was that?
Well, to be honest with you, the suck up on these cars is ridiculous. It's way way more than any other car I think on the service. I mean, you don't realize how fast you're catching up to the guy in front of you, so you got to check up. I think that's what caused the first accident, is that Jason was behind me, and he was getting ready to tap me, and he did tap me, which got me a little loose, but we still held it. But the guy behind him was coming up so fast, he ran into the back of him and then ended up, wrecking the field pretty much. But the other thing is that these cars are a real, I call it the Weeble Wobble effect, because even the next gen cars, sometimes depending on the setup, has that as well. They're just light on the back end, and they just want to wobble back and forth. Even though you're pushing straight, they still wobble a lot.
Well, obviously, it was a great effort between you and Jason to get yourself a great start to this season. I know I asked you beforehand, but now that the race is over with, how exciting is this for you to be able to kick off this block of racing with a top 2 finish?
Oh, great! In fact, I told Jason, I said, I'm not leaving you. We're going to finish 1-2, and I was, to be honest with you, that last lap I was mirror driving to keep Rowdy behind me. So I was like, I was telling Jason where to go. I was, on Discord, I was like, stay high, because we needed to keep that high side, because the side draft on this is also ridiculous. So every time somebody tried to catch us on the bottom, we just side draft them back and keep going. So we had to maintain, we could not let them get up top at all.
Well, great job tonight. Send some shouts to everybody like too.
Shouts to Scott for putting this on. My teammate Jason, congrats on the win, and thank my wife for letting me do this. She puts up with me, so I have to put the thank in there for her.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
You too. Greg Thompson, the second place finisher here tonight, and obviously a great job on his part, and great team player tonight, helping out with pushing the guy we're about to speak with to a second win of the season here tonight in that 28 cars. Jason, man, obviously Greg just talked about how great of a race you ran, but let's talk about that move you made to put yourselves in position. Obviously, you and Greg started kind of separate from each other in that previous restart when you had the 2G Lightning cars up there, and you just found a way to kind of open up that gap in the middle just a little bit more than it was, and fit you and Greg through there to take the lead in the end.
Yeah, I knew that Travis was wanting to go to the top, so I was trying to make sure that his teammate couldn't get to the top with him. So I kept Joe down as low as he could, and then Travis, when he went up to the top, he left the door open. I just kept the foot down and didn't really even turn, just kind of held my line and opened up like the Red Sea, and Greg pushed me through, and yeah, I mean, great run by Greg, great pushing, great teammate. And then that last green white checkered, I told him, hey, I'm going to go early, so once we cross the line I can get up top, because I want to be up top, because man, these cars with the side draft are ridiculous. So I want to be up top. He let me up top, and we went to 1-2. Yeah, great team effort. Scott came back, got fourth. So altogether, Torque Wrench, great night.
Yeah, not a bad effort to get a 1-2-4 there, like you said, but obviously a lot of adversity throughout. But how big is it to start a block off for racing with a win?
Yeah, it feels great. A lot better than last block. Last block, I think I could have just stayed at home and finished right where I did. But yeah, get the first win. I think Greg got some more bonus points than me, so he might be out front. But yeah, we want to keep these Torque Wrench cars top of the leaderboard there. Great start.
Yeah, obviously a great start, like you said, team-wise, going to help you points-wise. I know it's very tough when you have a long block or a long season of racing. You look at the overall points, you kind of get discouraged a little bit. You see the team points and obviously what has taken place, but to be in the top two, and I know you've been close to to getting a championship, and you go to a track next week where the last time we were there, you went to victory lane. So, I mean, a good shot to start 2 for 2.
Hey, we're going to try to start 2 for 2, Chris. Don't jinx it.
I'm going to do my best not to, man. Well, great job. Send some shout outs.
Yeah, just, shout out to my teammates, Greg, Scott. Great teamwork tonight. Scott had a lot of issues, but he come back. Great way to battle back. And, I got my high school alma mater on the car. I think that orange and black car looks good under the lights. And, Macomb Bombers, go Bombers. Once a bomber, always a bomber. And I still want to give a shout out to, the other teammate on the other team that's going through some stuff. He's getting some good news, still not in the clear, but he said he's getting his strength back and he thinks he's going to get back on the track sometime soon, hopefully. So we'll keep an eye on him, keep him in our prayers, and see if we can't talk to you next week too. Absolutely,
man. That sounds good, and I second that motion, obviously, too. Hopefully we'll get him back on track here soon, and look forward to, obviously, the conversation that happens there with you guys and stuff. I know you're got to be pretty excited about this. So congratulations on getting a win in the Vet to Track victory lane. You get to celebrate. So nice job.
All right, thanks. I think I'm going to go have a beer.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Take one for me since I got to go to sleep.
I'm probably going to go to sleep too, but it sounded good.
It does sound like a good idea. Jason Branch, the winner here tonight, kicks off the season here at Daytona, the last block of racing here in victory lane with Torque, Renchi, and Thompson. A great job working together. And, of course, that victory lane interview brought to you by Vet to Track. Of course, the main sponsor here of the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. So, race 1 officially in the books. As the points will get updated here for the first block. I'm sure Scott is working on that. And what ended up being a pretty wild race was all said and done. Congratulations to everybody for a pretty fun race. Obviously, the ending got kind of crazy, like we expected. That's the way it usually goes. And that's exactly what happened here this evening. So let's look at our Hard Charger Award presented by Superior Templating. And I want to say it's actually going to go to Eddie Rorardi, who went up 10 spots. Gilbert went up 12, but I believe Travis did not qualify, if I remember correctly. So because of that, that disqualifies him from the running, and Eddie Rorardi will be the Hard Charger, I believe, presented by Superior Templating. We'll give a couple of shout-outs here real quickly. Again, our new sponsor for the Pole Award, GB22 Designs. If you're looking for a paint scheme or some kind of graphic work done, hit up Joe Wells. If you can't find Joe Wells, you can message me or Scott Wise or one of us, and we'll get to Joe and tell him to get to work. But a big shout-out to Joe Wells for the graphic work he does, all those paint schemes and stuff. Our stage winners presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Big shout-out to Scott Wise and what he does there. And, of course, our Victory Lane interviews presented by Vet to Track, the league sponsor, also helping veterans get out there on track and obviously helping to help out with PTSD and the suicide rates and stuff that you see from veterans. As Travis mentioned earlier, the reason why he wears number 22 is because that's how many veterans we lose a day. We need to bring that number down to 0, and you can reach out to Vet to Track to help them out there. So next time we're on track, we'll be from iRacing Super Speedway. Again, next Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time. Hopefully we'll see you here on the Captain eSports Network as we run through the final 4 races here before we hang it all up. But we're going to go ahead and sign off and get off. And we'll get a points update for you at the beginning of next week's race. But big shout out to Jason Branch, who went to victory lane here tonight. And a big shout out to all the guys, all the sponsors. And big thank you to Scott and Lauren Wise. Again, Lauren, thoughts and prayers with you and your friends. Obviously with the situation, the personal situation there. And hopefully we'll get you back at the track here in the next week or so. Let's head out. Appreciate all the viewers as always. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See you.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for their continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.